city, you know, I've never been in public life like this before. I've been involved with a lot of, organization, you know, with the, Lions clubs and stuff here in Columbus for several years. So I tried it and I just kept on running. This would be my third term, so I really don't have an agenda per se. I just serve and hopefully that I do the right thing and when I make a decision on something,
Make you nervous. Go ahead.
You got 30 seconds.
You got
is what he
30
said.
seconds.
but when I make a decision on something, that I think that the people that know me, you know, that I kind of stick with that. But I think when I make a decision, I feel like I'm doing the right thing. Now, may not be, but you know, I want to go with that decision until I'm proven otherwise that, you know, it's what I'm seeing. So, and I'm doing this mainly for the city itself.
Okay, Gary, first question that I would like to ask you is, what is your opinion on the city manager form of government?
I've stated that before in several meetings. I'm for a city manager. I do feel that 10 councilmen is too many councilmen. I would like the city to entertain the idea of maybe going with a five council city manager form of government. Not city administrator, but an actual city manager. And my reason for that is that I think that a city manager has more authority than an administrator. And you can hire people to fill that capacity, and you give them the power, and they're not trying to please 10 councilmen. I don't think you can get a group of 10 people together and nobody's going to agree on everything, you know. And I think it drags the process out a lot of decisions. So.
Plenty of time. You want to say something else?
We'll reserve a couple of minutes for you at the end. The next question that we're asking you is, are you willing to make a decision that will not get you reelected and help people of Columbus rather than your own priorities?
Absolutely. And like I stated before, if I think I'm right on something, that's the decision I'm going to make. And you know, I'm not running. This is a volunteer thing, and you know, I'm not running for. There's no money involved in this or anything, and there's no glory involved. Matter of fact, you make a lot of enemies from people that was friends for years, you know, or you have disagreements with them. And but I don't worry about the decisions I make. If it offends somebody or if they don't think it's the right thing, then that's just the way it is, you know. And if I don't get reelected, you know, I guess I don't get reelected. You know, so is that enough?
Oh, you've got plenty of time.
Yeah.
You're still working on the last
Yeah.
last one.
Yeah, but anyway, I don't have a problem if it's disagreeable with people. If I think I'm making the right decision, I'm gonna stick with it. So it's just the way I am.
I know the answer to this, but some people might not. Have you participated in any of the community meetings with the Stockley Group in moving the city forward?
Yeah, I have. Matter of fact, I was on the ad hoc committee for the city, representing the city with that, when we started forming that group. And as I attended almost all the meetings, was involved in that ministerial committee of that group. So, involved with it from the start, and still involved with it. Still put my input in it, and I'll continue to support it, because I think it's a good worthwhile project that was started by
more question for Gary. What do you consider to be your priorities for the next 3 to 5 years for the city of Columbus?
Well, I have a lot of ideas for the city, and most of them is all improvement. I'd like to see the downtown area be improved. I recall back in the old days, as the mayor said, which was in the old days, it was back in the 80s, it wasn't that long ago. The downtown area, we had a group of people, and Gene Pritchett was involved at that time and everything. And I know how the downtown area can look, and how it can be, how it be presented, and that's what we got to do if we're going to promote retail businesses in town, and that's what we need. We need retail businesses along with manufacturing. But I think the retail again is actually more important really than the manufacturing, because this has always been kind of a bedroom community. When I first moved here in 1965, you couldn't buy a job in Columbus because there was no manufacturing jobs that we had here. I think the only manufacturing job was the camper place over there in the old concrete building where the ice picks at, or whatever it is now. And it was a small outfit. Probably I didn't have 20 employees. And it was that way with everybody here. Everybody worked outside of the community, but everybody lived here because they liked the community, and I liked it. That's the reason I lived here. Like I drove 15 miles a day to Oswego to work for several years, and then the Parsons Ammunition Plant for several years to work. But I always stayed in Columbus because this is where I wanted to raise my kids, and it's really a good atmosphere for kids, I think. The school system is great. I don't think we have any qualms at all about the school system. And
Since you brought up the school system, what are your plans for assisting the school in building or rebuilding for construction of an athletic complex?
Well, again, on the athletic complex at the school, I recall back in the old days, they wanted, before we built that new gymnasium where it's at now, we had an old gym that was built there when the school was built, and my kid played sports in there, participated in sports in that old gym, and they came out, the first proposal was they wanted to build a big, indoor swimming pools and all this, and the bond issue was so high, it was defeated, and and it was a good idea, but the taxpayer of the community was not quite ready for that. And I believe if you look at the stadium up here and the stuff I've heard that they're wanting to build now, I think they're gonna run into the same problem. Money is tight, and I'm just like everybody else. I live on a budget. I try to budget my expenditures and stuff. And I think our government agencies and our school systems, they're gonna have to look at that also, All these things are really nice, these big fancy complexes and all that. They're really nice, and of course, everybody like to have them. But I think we've gotta be realistic now. I would support, doing a reasonable, project like on a football field. I think that is the big concern that they have at the school system right now is the football. Now, I believe that I could support something of that nature, that going to a large athletic complex, I just don't know if I could do that or not. At this time, I just don't move up good. So.
I'll have to tell you that I didn't, we're not ganging up on you, Gary, and we appreciate you
Hey, that's fine.
being here and participating and,
Anybody wants to ask me questions about anything, but that, you know, that's just what, I'm gonna tell you what I think.
and we appreciate that. And I'll have to tell you that he's here, you know, and that counts for something. The city commissioners agreed to let the Chamber of Commerce have their fireworks display during the high school reunion, the all-school reunion. And as of now, we have no money to do that, so we're going to start fundraising. And one of the first things we're going to do is Thursday, April the 5th, will be a fireworks lunch, hot dogs, hamburgers, sausage, chips, and a drink for $5. And it'll be